If planning your content feels way harder than it should, please listen to me. You are not broken. Your system might be a little bit off, and you just need some easy fixes to get it going again. So, in today's episode, I'm sharing 3 simple fixes to make content planning feel simple and flexible and save you hours. So, if you're over the whole content struggle and you're ready for a fresh approach, keep listening. Hi, friend. Welcome to Content Marketing for Entrepreneurs. Want to market your business without burning out? Are you tired of spending way too much time just trying to stay consistent online? I'm Eugenia, but you can call me E. I'll show you how to create a sustainable way to show up online. Let's make content creation easier and way more fun. Grab your coffee and let's dive right in. Okay, we need to park here for a second. Have you checked out the Content Marketing for Entrepreneurs community on Facebook? I created it for women who want to show up confidently on social media without burning out because, let's be honest, this is not 2019 anymore, and the whole hustling your life away on social is just not it. It's not cute anymore. So inside this group, I share specific social media trainings, a lot of tips. Right now, I'm getting to know you and connecting with you and learning what you like. And I'm really focusing on hustle-free marketing. That is my whole thing because I want to make it sustainable for you. I want to give you advice on creating content that feels like you and so much more. So please come join us at ewooCommunity.com. I have been through every content approach under the sun, including the whole content bank thing. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I remember this specific time when I went to my list of ideas, and I think I had over 30 ideas, and I felt like nothing worked. It was so frustrating. I ended up going to ChatGPT because I wanted to ask about new content ideas, and ultimately I just gave up for the day, and I plan to come back on another day, probably Saturday, and hope that I was more inspired. And it was so frustrating having to postpone the same task over and over again. And I know you get me. I know you've been there at some point with a bunch of content ideas or even things you've created in the past, maybe a long blog post or maybe something you did for someone else's community and you are really proud of. But now when it comes to actually putting them together into a calendar, into a social media post, you start looking at the cursor blank. And don't get me started on going on a rabbit hole of YouTube videos because you know what? Maybe there's just something there, right? Some secret sauce you're missing. So next time you're looking at a blank screen, trying to plan your social media, try one of these easy fixes. Number 1, please forget about pillars and try content themes instead. And this is such a key part of my framework, but basically pillars are amazing. I love them. I have nothing against them, but they're amazing until they're not. And I personally start feeling trapped after a little while, and I just want to post what I want to post. Am I a rebellious person? Maybe, but is there something to do about it? For sure. So we need this balance of something that gives you freedom, but also gives you structure because creativity does need structure. It is the reality. It is what it is. We do need structure for creativity. So how can we balance this out? What do we do instead? That's when we focus on themes. And this is a way more flexible approach. And it's something that still can grow with you. You can be strategic, but doesn't put you inside a box for the rest of your life. And I love this approach because you can build up to how many times you want to post per week. You can still keep your running list of ideas, but now you have this framework for how to approach your content without having to be so strict of pillar number 1 goes out on Monday. I love this approach so much. It has been so helpful in me coming back to social media after my unexpected 5-month sabbatical. So for themes, you really only need to focus on 3 themes. And I'm going to keep this part simple so you can keep coming back to this. You need a professional-based theme, and this is your formal teaching theme. This is where you talk about specifically your expertise, you build that authority. Then you have a values-based theme, and this one creates connection. This is about your why, your behind the scenes. Really, you are relating because you are sharing your beliefs, and someone can connect with your beliefs because they have the same beliefs. It's really, really awesome, and the best way to build a business on your personal brand, right? When you are such a huge differentiator from others in your industry. And then we have an interest-based theme. And this one is the free one. This one is the do whatever you want. This one creates engagement and it shows your human side. This one shows your coffee routine, if that's something you want to post, your gym routine, if that's something you want to post, or maybe you don't feel comfortable sharing your personal life. Maybe you want to share about your books that you're loving. I love Donald Miller from Storybrand. He's really fantastic at sharing just stories of his life. He's a master storyteller, so I feel like this works great for him. And everything just creates that engagement because he's hilarious with some of the things he shares. And if you want to define your themes and you're trying to figure it out, simply book a social media strategy coaching. You are going to be able to show up on social with confidence and consistency. And this is a 1-hour call. That's amazing because we are going to be able to define your main three themes, and 2 posts per theme. So at the end of the call, you're going to have 6 posts ready to go. We're going to have follow-up so I can look at your content, make sure it's as strong as it can be. You can find all the details at eugeniawu.com. That's EUGENIA.com. And getting stuck with your content strategy is so much simpler than what you think. And the good news is that you have all the info that you need inside of you for all the content that you need. Remember, go to eugeniawu.com. You have all the information there to have your call booked. And this is going to get you going with this framework, this approach. I really want to see you win at this. Okay, point number 2, go back to old content that has worked and say the same thing in a new way. And many of you are trying to reinvent the wheel with every single post. You're trying to say something new, teach something different, and that's so exhausting. You don't need to. You've posted things before that your audience has loved. So go back to those topics and find a new way to say the thing in a different way. Because this way, you're going to avoid creation overload. You are going to also avoid putting hours into creating a piece of content that may not get the results you're expecting. Because the role of social media is to create and build relationships. So it's not a book. Like, you're not writing your next novel on Instagram. We're creating connection points. So we're testing content and information. So I don't want you spending hours on a single post unless it's very strategic, it's for a launch, like there's a purpose behind it and you are okay with putting the extra hours, but that should not be the norm. For example, let's say you're a business coach and you made a post a while ago that your audience loved, and it was about the top offers that were performing best for your clients right now. Like, you were talking about group coaching versus a course versus one-on-one, or something specific about those offers. And chances are, just based on the way that Instagram works, that 95 to 98% of your followers missed out on that post. Or maybe they just looked at it and they liked it, but they didn't really take the time to read it. And maybe the ones who really saw it and read it, they have so many things in their minds. They've read so many other posts that maybe they don't have it, maybe not. Most likely they don't have it fresh at the top of their mind a few weeks later. So you could still talk about offer creation, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel or say something different about offer creation. Maybe just position the same post in a different way. For example, let's say you are talking about the same topic, literally the same tips, and now you are positioning it as, this is the offer I would create if I was starting my business from scratch. Or maybe you have a cool graphic carousel saying, no, you don't need a rebrand, your offer needs some adjustments, and then you're talking about it. Or maybe you can make a reel with B-roll, super nice lifestyle, saying things like how to adjust your offer to make it irresistible in 2025. You are going to say or to share the same ideas, the same concepts, the same 3 points, but in different ways. And you can even incorporate all of these 3 things and maybe share once a month. That would be ideal because you don't have to think as much, right? It sounds like I'm a lazy thinker. I am not. I just want to help you save brain energy so you can continue showing up on social media and stop struggling with this whole planning thing. Okay, point number 3, go on a muting spree. I am a fan of muting sprees. I don't know why I sound so antisocial, but I promise that reducing the content you consume or the type of content and being more selective with the type of content you consume on social media is a game changer. And many of you have creator's block because you're following everyone on your industry and subconsciously you're comparing yourself to them. And I understand we use social to build relationships. So I'm not telling you to unfollow everyone, but go ahead and mute them for a little while. And your feed should work for you. Your feed should inspire you. Your feed should make you better. Your feed shouldn't give you FOMO about all the things you're not doing enough of. Or, oh my gosh, I missed this mastermind. Or, oh my gosh, this girl that started at the same time as me is now speaking at this stage and I'm not. Like, that's not the goal of social media when you are trying to build something and promote something. If we are not careful, social media has created this illusion that we are totally powerless to the information that gets put in front of us. Like there's the narrative, right? That the algorithm controls what we see, what's in front of you. So we end up mindlessly scrolling for hours and hours. And believe it or not, that has an effect on our brains. There are documented effects of social media on endless scrolling in our brains. So we need to be hyper vigilant of where our attention is going, how the content we're consuming is making us feel. We really need to increase the awareness. So what you need to do is to Marie Kondo your socials. Literally, if it doesn't bring you joy, mute. That's it. Stop watching people's stories just because it was there. You know how you have the stories lined up? We watch someone's stories and then we just watch the next and the next and the next, and that's it. No, stop it. Stop putting yourself in a position where you end up at 11 p.m. buying a random course you actually don't need, because now, after watching all the highlights and reading the sales page, you now think this is the missing piece you need. No, stop it. You need to protect yourself. So to recap, if you're struggling with social media planning, try these fixes out. Number 1, stop using pillars and focus on content themes instead. Number 2, go back to old content that your audience has liked in the past and say the same thing in a new way. And number 3, mute all the accounts that don't bring you joy and add positive things to your life. Try this out and let me know how it goes. And remember that you can join my free community if you want to ask specific questions and you want more personalized advice. I would love to guide you as you reconnect with the ease of showing up on social media with confidence and consistency. So come join us at ewooCommunity.com. See you there. Un beso. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you loved it, don't keep it to yourself. Send it to a friend who's ready to show up confidently online without the burnout. Remember that sharing is caring. And if you want to make my day, please drop a quick review on Apple Podcasts, because seriously, it means the world to know this show is helping you take the stage on social media with confidence. See you back here soon for the next one. Un beso.